Have you ever wondered why some men with average incomes, plain clothes and no luxury cars, still attract women effortlessly, while others dripping in wealth and status can't even get a text back? It's not luck. It's not genetics. And it's definitely not just looks. It's something deeper, something money can't buy. Because the truth is, women might be impressed by wealth, but they fall in love with qualities far rarer than that. Qualities that speak to their hearts, not their wallets. Think about it. The man who drives an old car but carries himself with peace. The man who doesn't chase attention, yet commands it through his calm. The man who listens more than he talks, whose presence feels like safety in a world addicted to noise. Those men win quietly. They don't need validation. They don't need to perform. They've mastered the art of being, and something few ever learn. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." And that's the key. Women don't fall for luxury, and they fall for character. They fall for the man who stands firm when life shakes, who radiates quiet strength instead of arrogance, who leads not by control but by example. Because when a man embodies these deeper virtues, calmness, purpose, integrity, protection, curiosity, he awakens something ancient in the feminine heart, trust. And when a woman feels that, no amount of money can compete. So if you've ever felt invisible, if you've ever wondered why effort and gifts still fall flat, it's not because you lack value. It's because you've been taught to chase the wrong kind of power. Today we change that. Because once you understand these 6 things, truly understand them, you'll never chase validation again. You'll move differently, speak differently. You'll become the kind of man she remembers long after you've walked away. So let's dive into the 6 things women secretly love more than money, through the lens of Stoic philosophy and timeless masculine strength. 1. Quiet confidence, not arrogant showmanship. In a quiet cafe in London, there's a man named Daniel. He's not the loudest in the room. No flashy watch, no designer sneakers. Yet when he walks in, people notice, not because he demands attention, but because his presence carries a kind of stillness that commands it. His shoulders are relaxed, his steps measured, his eyes steady. He doesn't talk over people to prove his worth. He listens. He pauses before he speaks. He doesn't need to fill the silence because he's not afraid of it. That's quiet confidence, and women feel it long before you ever open your mouth. You see, women aren't drawn to noise. They're drawn to energy. And quiet confidence carries the kind of energy that says, I'm comfortable in my own skin. I don't need to prove myself to anyone. It's a calmness rooted in self-awareness. A man like Daniel doesn't react to every insult or chase validation through performance. He's mastered something far more powerful, emotional control. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's the essence of quiet confidence. It's not built on external validation, not money, not attention, not applause. It's built on internal mastery. Psychologists call this emotional stability, the ability to remain composed under stress. For women, that stability isn't just attractive, it's magnetic. Why? Because deep down, every woman wants to feel emotionally safe around a man who can handle life's storms without losing. Himself signals strength at a primal level. He becomes the emotional anchor in a world full of chaos. Now here's the paradox. Confidence isn't about being the loudest. It's about being the most grounded. Money can rent admiration. But composure? That earns respect. You could walk into a room full of wealthy men, but the one who speaks last, the one who doesn't need the spotlight, he's the one people remember. That's why Daniel, sitting in that London cafe, didn't need luxury to be noticed. His energy was the luxury. Quiet confidence tells a woman, you're safe here. And that feeling, that sense of peace in your presence is worth more than any material gift. So if you want to be truly attractive, stop chasing external noise. Cultivate internal silence, because in that silence, true power grows. Purpose and direction, not hedonistic drift. In New York, there's a woman named Emily. She once told her friend, he's not rich, but when he talks about his goals, his eyes light up. He's going somewhere. That's the secret few men realize. Women aren't always chasing success. They're chasing momentum. A man with direction radiates something money never can. Meaning, he wakes up with purpose, he moves with conviction. And when he talks about his dreams, you can feel the fire behind his words. Stoicism calls this living in accordance with nature, not in the sense of trees or rivers, but in living in alignment with your deeper truth. Seneca wrote, "If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable." Without purpose, a man drifts, and drift is death to attraction. You can have wealth, charm, and looks, but if you have no inner compass, your energy feels empty. Purpose is masculine gravity. It keeps you centered when everything else pulls you off course. It makes your presence stable, not because you have everything figured out, but because you know where you're going. Psychologically, this taps into what women subconsciously seek: security through direction. When she sees a man moving forward, even slowly, she feels that stability. It's not about ambition for fame or fortune. It's about alignment with something deeper. Purpose tells her you're not lost in distraction, not chasing dopamine, not letting the world dictate your path. You are the kind of man who builds, not consumes. Women don't want to be your purpose, they want to witness your purpose in motion. They want to stand beside a man who wakes up with fire in his eyes, not confusion in his heart. Because a man with direction is predictable in the best way, not boring, but anchored. So build something, not for her, not for society, but for yourself. Build your craft, grow your body, strengthen your mind, and watch how your energy changes. When your mission fuels you, your presence speaks louder than money ever could. A man without purpose chases women. A man with purpose attracts them. 3. Integrity, the unseen magnetism. In Manchester, there's a man named Michael. He's not perfect, but he's consistent. When he says he'll call, he calls. When he promises something, he delivers. If he makes a mistake, he owns it. He doesn't ghost people. He doesn't manipulate. And he doesn't play games just to feel powerful. That's integrity, the rarest magnetism left in modern dating. Because here's the truth. We live in an age of filters, false promises, and constant exits. People vanish as soon as things get uncomfortable. So when a man shows integrity, he stands out like light in a fog. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." That's the foundation of integrity, alignment between words and actions. In dating, integrity builds something that no amount of wealth can buy: trust. And psychologists agree, trust is the core of all emotional bonds. Without it, attraction crumbles. With it, connection deepens. Money can create moments. Integrity creates memories. Michael may not drive a luxury car, but the people around him trust his word. Women feel safe around him not because of his appearance, but because of his consistency. When he says, "I'll be there," he means it. That reliability builds emotional safety, and emotional safety is the seed of feminine openness. It's not about being flawless. It's about being honest. Integrity means doing the right thing even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching. A woman can feel that kind of energy. She may not articulate it, but she senses it. She feels calm when she's around a man who doesn't need lies to appear strong. In a world full of masks, truth becomes rare currency. So remember, money might impress her, but integrity makes her trust you. And once a woman trusts you, you've built something far deeper than attraction. You've built connection. Because in the end, integrity is quiet power, and quiet power is irresistible. Emotional strength, the power to stay present. A man's strength isn't measured by how much he lifts. It's measured by how much he can hold, his patience, his composure, his ability to stay calm when emotions run high. There's a woman named Sarah from Toronto. She once shared a story that changed how she viewed love. Her boyfriend at the time wasn't rich, wasn't flashy, but when her father passed away, he showed her something she'd never seen before: stillness in the middle of pain. He didn't rush to fix her. He didn't flood her with advice or try to distract her. He just stayed quiet, grounded, present. Weeks later, she said something profound. "That's when I fell for him. Because for the first time, I didn't feel like a burden. I felt understood." That's emotional strength. And here's where most men get it wrong. Emotional strength isn't the absence of emotion. It's the mastery of it. Stoicism never taught suppression. It taught sovereignty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. To feel everything deeply but remain unmoved by chaos, and that's true masculine power. When you can hold space for a woman's emotions, her joy, her sadness, her frustration, without reacting from ego, you create a bond that few men can offer. Psychologists call this emotional containment, the ability to absorb tension without amplifying it. To a woman, this signals strength at the deepest level. It says, "You don't have to perform around me. You can just be. Money can't buy that. Luxury can't create that. Because emotional safety, that calm presence during her storms, can only come from a grounded heart. Women fall for men who can stay steady when emotions rise, not because they're unshakable statues, but because they radiate peace when the world shakes. So if you want to become truly strong, don't just build muscles and build composure. Learn to sit in silence when others panic, to breathe deeply when emotions roar, to understand before reacting. Because when you master that, your presence becomes medicine, and no woman forgets the man who could stay when everyone else ran. Protective energy, safety over status. Let's move to Sydney. There's a woman named Olivia who once dated two very different men. The first had everything, a six-figure salary, an expensive car, the kind of wardrobe that screamed success. But when life got hard, when her mother fell ill, he vanished. The second, a mechanic. Ordinary job, modest life. But when Olivia's world started falling apart, he showed up. He drove her to appointments, cooked for her, sat with her when she cried. Guess which man she still talks about? It wasn't the one with money. It was the one with protection. Because deep down, women don't crave status, they crave safety. And safety doesn't mean control or dominance. It means being the kind of man whose presence makes her exhale. The Stoics had a word for this: eupatheia, the good emotions that arise from virtue. Protection born from rational strength and empathy. A truly protective man doesn't control her path, and he clears it when life gets dark. He doesn't need to shield her from every problem. He simply says, "I've got you," and means it. From a psychological view, this is emotional reliability, consistency that breeds trust. Women subconsciously test for this. They watch how you handle pressure, not how you handle success. They notice how you respond when things don't go your way. Because protection isn't about fighting dragons. It's about staying steady when the dragons come. Money can build comfort, but comfort fades when fear enters. Protection, on the other hand, builds devotion. Because when a woman feels safe, her love doesn't just grow, it deepens. Not from need, but from choice. So if you want to embody real masculine strength, don't flex it. Channel it. Be the calm in the chaos. The strength that doesn't shout but shows up. Because protection isn't about ownership. It's about presence. And in a world where everyone's trying to impress, being the man who simply shows up when it matters is the most powerful kind of wealth. It takes curious attention, the art of being interested. Now let's talk about something subtle, but profoundly powerful. Attention. Not the shallow kind that floods her with compliments or constant texts, but the kind that listens curiously. There's a difference between looking at someone and seeing them, and women can tell. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Curiosity is that principle. In action, it's the willingness to think beyond yourself. When a man listens with genuine curiosity, remembers her favorite author, recalls the story about her childhood dog, or why she loves rainy mornings, he's doing something extraordinary. He's saying, "I see you. I notice what others ignore." That's not flattery, and that's connection. Psychologically, this touches one of the deepest human needs, to be seen and understood. Money can buy gifts, but curiosity gives presence, and presence builds intimacy. Because when you're curious, you stop trying to impress and start trying to understand. A curious man doesn't dominate the conversation. He nurtures it. He doesn't make her feel analyzed. He makes her feel valued. That's why women remember small details. It's not about what you give, it's about what you notice. When you notice her essence, her quirks, her passions, her fears, she feels safe enough to be real. And in a world of superficial attention, genuine attention becomes sacred. So don't chase her with gifts, texts, or gestures. See her, hear her. Let your curiosity lead the connection, not your ego. Because curiosity is love's most underrated language. It says, "I'm here. I'm listening. You matter." And to a woman, that's worth far more than anything money could ever buy. Conclusion, the Stoic secret of true value. Here's the truth that most men miss. You can't buy peace. You can't buy respect. You can't buy attraction that lasts. Because women, at their cores, are drawn to energy, not economy. To composure, not consumption. To integrity, not income. Stoic philosophy has whispered the same lesson for 2,000 years. True wealth is found in virtue. A man who lives with discipline, emotional control, and quiet strength radiates something that can't be priced: presence. And that presence makes women feel what money never can: safe, seen, and inspired. So before you chase the next symbol of success, pause. Ask yourself, am I building my value from within or renting it from the outside? Because once you master these 6, quiet confidence, purpose and direction, integrity, emotional strength, protective energy, curious attention, you'll realize something profound. The richest man in the room isn't the one with the most money. It's the one who needs the least validation. And that man, he doesn't chase, he attracts. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.